today I'm experiencing a different type of reserve duty for the Jewish people. In between my IDF patrols in our holy ancestral Judean hills, I'm coming here to the Knesset, Israel's parliament, not to defend the land with my weapon, but to defend it and move forward with my voice. I'm here to speak with elected officials and ministers about the urgent importance of the state of Israel finally applying sovereignty in Judea and Samaria. With the possibility of a new U.S. administration that already supports this historic step of sovereignty in Judea and Samaria, we cannot afford to let this opportunity slip away. But this isn't just about America. It starts with us. We Jews in Israel have to want it. We need to voice our support for it and demand that our leaders in this building, including Prime Minister Netanyahu, take the necessary steps to make it happen. It's up to us. Former U.S. Ambassador to Israel, David Friedman, put it plainly in his book, One Jewish State, and he has repeated it a number of times since. Friedman advocates for full Israeli sovereignty over all of Judea and Samaria, with humanitarian rights for the Arabs living there, but no voting rights, similar to the model in Puerto Rico in the United States of America. As Friedman himself has said, quote, "Nobody accuses the United States of being an apartheid state," end quote. What is even more interesting is that Friedman today admits that Trump's deal of the century from his first term in office was a mistake and can't be offered again because it allowed the Palestinians to potentially have a state of their own. Just to remind you that Trump's deal of the century that Friedman pushed for at the time would have allowed Israel to apply sovereignty to parts of Judea and Samaria, but leave the rest as land for a potential Palestinian state. He today says that October 7th has woken him up to understand that a Palestinian state is impossible. It's dangerous, and that Israel must have full control over all of Judea and Samaria. Then there's Mike Huckabee, Trump's incoming ambassador to Israel, who has stated unequivocally, quote, "There is no such thing as the West Bank. There is no such thing as an occupation." And he has said sovereignty over Judea and Samaria is Israel's decision to make, end quote. These aren't just random voices. These are people who have Trump's ear. But sovereignty isn't up to them. Sovereignty over Judea and Samaria is up to us. The Palestinian Authority is not a partner for peace. It's a terror-supporting regime that incentivizes the murder of Jews. We've seen it in Gaza, and we see it in Judea and Samaria. Israel's safety requires full sovereignty and control. Amir Avivi of the Bitronistim organization has explained this clearly in the Knesset. The IDF must remain in Gaza forever to ensure security. But for that to work, we also need a civilian presence there. Sovereignty is the only path forward for Gaza and for Judea and Samaria. So what do we do with the Arabs who live in Judea and Samaria and Gaza that does not burden or endanger Israel while also protecting us? Well, there are plenty of options. We just need our leaders to decide. Whether the state of Israel chooses Dr. Mordechai Kedar's plan for full sovereignty yet allowing for autonomous Arab city emirates, or Israel decides to incentivize the Arabs to voluntarily immigrate, or my favorite, Israel adopts Trump's policy of deporting terror supporters, where we have a majority of the Arab population in Judea, Samaria, and Gaza that fit that criteria. But the key is this: the current system of Arab self-rule, whether Hamas or under the Palestinian Authority or any other name they come up with, has failed. Full Israeli control over our ancestral lands is the only way forward for security, for justice, and for our future. And let's not forget, Israel is not just protecting itself. We are the front line of the freedom-loving world. A safer Israel means a safer America and a safer world. For Israel to thrive and for freedom to prevail globally, we must have full sovereignty in Judea and Samaria, and also in Gaza. Regardless of the tragedy of October 7th and its aftermath, we can never take for granted the miracle of Jewish sovereignty in our ancestral homeland. And after 2,000 years of exile and persecution, we finally have our own country, our own army, and our own government. Here I am in Israel's parliament building, the Knesset. We can defend ourselves, build our future, and even come here to the Knesset to speak directly with our leaders through these hallways that I'm walking through today, as I'm doing. As I always say, Our future is up to us and God above. That is the winning combination. So what can you do to help? Well, first of all, share videos like this. Spread the word about the importance of the state of Israel having sovereignty in our ancestral lands, Judea, Samaria, and Gaza. Because the more people who understand this, the more likely will be able to make it happen, especially with a friendly Trump administration coming up. Together, with faith and action, we can secure our future in our eternal homeland. Again, not just for our benefit, but for your benefit and the benefit of your children and your grandchildren, etc., etc. So everyone, Am Yisrael Chai. Let's make this happen. If you are not yet a subscriber to my Pulse of Israel videos, what are you waiting for? Here from me, you get the daily belief-based, inspiring, politically incorrect truth. Just go to pulseofisrael.com and click to subscribe. And we are a donor-based organization. We need your donations in order to get our videos seen because we're heavily censored on social media channels, all of them. And while our videos are free, we need donations to help us make the videos and get them seen by many more people. So every once in a while, just click on the donate button on pulseofisrael.com. Shalom, everyone. From our ancestral homeland, from the seat of our sovereignty in our ancestral homeland, Israel's parliament, the Knesset.
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.